Live from virtual Tennessee, we welcome race fans one and all back to Green Flag TV, where tonight we are set to kick off race number 2 of the L-TAC All Street Media Cup Series. Welcome to the last great Coliseum and your running of the birthplace of the tow truck 200. My name is Olabempo, bringing you all of the coverage here tonight from start to finish as we'll get set to kick off, which should be a thrilling 200 laps of racing action around this half-mile speedway. It is going to be a race to remember for sure. There is going to be no doubt thrills, no doubt spills. And after the race that we saw at Daytona just 1 week ago, could even see some tempers flaring from this, the last great Roman Coliseum that we've got for motor racing action. We take a look at the point standings entering tonight's race, and of course, some slight alterations having been made with the stages coming into play just last week. One notable driver ALC missing from the top 15 here. Hunter Thrower, a driver who was looking set to have himself with a solid run. Unfortunately, Thrower with his antics, shall we say, on the backstretch just this past Friday at Daytona when he tangled with Brian Huntley Jr. He was deemed to have been at fault for intentional wrecking and retaliation, so he was disqualified from that race, netting himself 0 points. Gassion, with that stage win, is now 11 points clear of Tyler Greneau in the point standings, and it is an Eastern Stars of Motorsports. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5 up here for the top end of the board. So it's going to be an intense race for all drivers involved, as we'll be looking set to kick off racing action from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Qualifying is very much underway as you've got many drivers up on the racetrack. And in fact, here's one of them right now, Austin Gassion, working his way around the Bristol Motor Speedway, looking to try to put down a good lap time in here. He has just put himself 7th place on the charts. Seeing if he can't go any quicker for the driver to Westerly, Rhode Island. Crosses the line this time by. Is it any better? It is not. So Gassion will remain 7th quick. How about Mark Brannigan Jr.? Working his number 46 car up around the speedway. He's going to go into 5th. Believe it may have just caught the outside wall, though. Entering turns 1 and 2, so he'll work his way around the speedway and into turn 4, crosses the line for York, Pennsylvania, and no time logged for this second outing. You got a lot more drivers, though, that are all going to be looking to put themselves up on the racetrack, and among those is Mario LaPinta. Will ride on board with the 13 car. He'll take you for a couple laps around the Bristol Motor Speedway. And so you see Bristol Motor Speedway is nothing to be trifled with, as LaPinta will put himself 12th quick on the boards for his initial run. Meanwhile, Joseph further down the field going to be going to the number 1 spot. So the driver for Ryko Performance and Eastern Stars Motorsports goes at the top of the timing charts here for lap number 1 of qualifying. And he will stay in first as well, not able to improve though on his gap. So he's got the moment, has the the provisional pole position by just 1/10 of a second over the likes of Badger Racing's Anthony Musatti. Holden McGill sits in a solid 2nd place. Jeffrey Souza making his first start of the season, going to be back in the number 4 spot. As well as that, you've got some drivers looking to potentially make new starts. I know we've got guys like Chris Campbell that didn't have the best outing, looking to get themselves some good runs. Robert Block and Todd Robbins we may see make their first starts here of the season as well. Josh McCoy also making his first start. McCoy was a driver that did take a provisional over just 1 week ago at Daytona. Couldn't make it to the race, so he took one of 2 available provisionals for these drivers, and he will be lining it up in 17th as of right now. We've got ourselves 15 seconds left on the clock here in qualifying, so it is almost time for when we'll take you down to show you how everything's going to line on up around the Bristol Motor Speedway for your running of the birthplace of the tow truck 200. That time will come up right now. So we're set to go racing. And here's how everything's going to shake on up for 200 laps of racing action here tonight. Joseph is on the pole. Anthony Musatti will be beside him on the front row. Anthony Musati is going to be back in the number 2 spot. You got on the likes of Holden McGill in 3rd. Jeffrey Souza is back in 4th. Spencer Ray's in 5th with Kyle Green in 6th. Mark Brannigan Jr. is in 7th with Connor LaFrance in 8th. Matt Cherry and Austin Gassione round out the top 10. Row 6 holds Tyler Grinnell and Ryan Dingler. Mario Lapinto will be in 13th with Grant Peterson in 14th. Bear Morton is 15th with Josh McDougall in 16th. Josh McCoy making his first start in 17th. Sean Deal, is back in 18th. Steph Purcell, Frank Flores going to round out the top 20. Moving down to the field, you got Barrett Huppold, Justin Wilson as the last 2 drivers put down qualifying laps. And then they've got Brian Huntley Jr., Josh Small, Aaron Bradford, Chris Campbell, Todd Robbins, and Robert Block to round out what is scheduled to be a 28-car start from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Going to take this chance to thank Allstream Media for being the title sponsor for the L-TAC Cup Series season in their 5th season of competition. Allstream Media is a small media platform specializing in photography and live streaming, mainly focused around no-prep drag racing, and soon will be expanded to dirt racing, NASCAR, superbike racing, and more. Their mission is to provide smaller racing venues with the opportunity for public exposure and to help keep small-town racing circuits and also small-town drivers doing the things they love. You can find out more by visiting them on their Facebook page at www.facebook.com, and you can find the exact profile link down in the description below. Drivers are all lined up and ready to go as we start to roll off from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Joseph going to be the driver that will have that main start right up there at the head of this field, as he's already working the back straightaway for the first of 2 times. Now, we are using dual pit roads here tonight, so the top 22 starters, that will be Joseph all the way back to the 22nd place driver there, I believe, of Justin Wilson. They'll all be pitting on the front stretch. Everybody else will be pitting on the back stretch. That could bring up some interesting nuances when we get down to caution flag pitting. Fuel run estimated about 180 laps, so we're not expecting for us to get any green flag pit stops here today unless we somehow go green until about 20 to go. And then, of course, you'll have these drivers as well looking to make a run for those stage points right at the end of lap 100 at exactly halfway. Todd Robbins and Robert Block did not make it to the call, making this now a 26-car field to take to the green flag. We're happy that you're joining us here on a Friday night. Pace cars down and into pit road. Green flag up in the air this time by. We're underway in Tennessee. Joseph leads the first lap to green here in Bristol, Tennessee, as he'll hightail it down the back straightaway. Anthony Musati and Hopper Sue looking further down through this field, side by side battling all throughout. Ryan Dingler to the outside of Kyle Green, going to look to pick off the number 18 as, whoa, look out, Cherry sliding to the inside on the front straightaway. Able to recover, he'll rebound up right into the side of Mario Lapinto, and Cherry will recover, he'll hang on for 13th. Whole field working its way down the front stretch and in towards turns 1 and 2, looking to be a bunched up single file for the moment. Looking back to Mark Brannigan Jr., part of that Eastern Stars Motorsports 1 through 5, as he's trying to get around Jeffrey Souza. And that 14 Souza Media Machine just up the road. A lot of the battling taking place further back throughout this field. You can see some definite splits starting to shake up. Bear Morton, Tyler Grinnell, two of the drivers that are currently locked in side-by-side combat just behind McDougall, losing out to Barrett Huppold. Now Matt Cherry under heavy fire by Austin Gassione as he's trying to pick off Kyle Green. Green really slowing up a majority of this pack here as he worked down into turns 1 and 2 to the back straightaway. Cherry will power around the outside. Everybody else slowly tucks in line. Looking back at McDougall battling it out with Frank Flores for 18th on the racetrack. As they remain side by side, Matt Cherry put down the fast lap of the race this last time by was a 14.9. Now Barrett Morton Gets around Gassion, and he's looking to size up a pass on green. Morton takes the Spear Crest Digital Camaro up and around the outside. Easy pass, one car into the wall on the back straightaway. That would be the 22 of Josh McCoy in his opening start. Nearly lost the spot to Grinnell. Pulls clear, now running down Austin Gassion through turns 1 and 2. Working the backstretch. Not going to stop Kyle Green from trying to fight back, though, on that inside line as we thunder it down in towards turn numbers 3 and 4. And back across start-finish. Up the road, Holden McGill trying to keep the likes of Spencer Ray at bay while his teammate Anthony Musani is trying to build up a gap and maybe try to run down Joseph up the road, but it's difficult going for all these guys here around the top 9 as they're all bunched up in one long string of cars. A lot of the side-by-side action so far has been in the mid-pack on back as you ride on board with Tyler Grinnell. Curley runs 16th on the circuit with Mario Lapinta right behind the DeWalt Mustang. Trying to keep a charging 13 car at bay. Lapinta, of course, been one of the longtime runners, was one of the drivers that has been sticking around since season 1. You see Frank Flores, he's been around since the second season, back in 2021. Being passed up by Brian Huntley Jr., who had a few runs with several drivers at Daytona 1 week ago. Did not make any friends there, but he's looking to make a good time at least in his Bush machine, running some Halloween colors. Oh, contact! Lapinta slides, able to pedal it on the front stretch and recover, and that will allow Huntley through. Lapinta may not be too happy with that. Look back up to Souza, Brannigan, LaFrance, all tucked nose to tail, single file down the backstretch. Lap times just scream by here at Bristol. Joseph in his Ryko setup shop, Eastern Star Motorsports machine, still very much in the lead of this race, now by almost a second ahead of the second place runner Anthony Musati. Maybe starting to lose a bit of time. Grant Peterson getting around Ryan Dingler for the number 8 spot. So good drive there for the 52 car to get around Dingler, as they will now work the backstretch. How about Uphold and Gassion? They're also going to exchange a couple of hands as they thunder around turns 1 and 2. At the moment, a lot of these battles are coming to a bit of a head. You see Lapinta getting back to the bumper of Brian Huntley Jr. Not going to go for the bump and run just yet, though. It's a bit early for racing like that. Huntley's still trying to set up a move around Grinnell, who's been checking up this little battle pack here as well. Oh, he's going to actually get to the back bumper that time with the DeWalt Mustang. And that could very well open up the door as Huntley instead falls victim potentially to Mario Lapinta. This is a big battle we got at the moment for 17th on backs. We thunder around that back straightaway, but it is not the only one. There's Josh McCoy and Matt Cherry getting physical down the front stretch as McCoy's been put into the outside wall. Cherry really pinching the time machine up there, not leaving McCoy any room to work with. Was able to get around him, but boy, that got aggressive there. We're going to see McCoy try to cut back to the bottom. This is how this whole thing started. You're going to see the Cherry get to the inside of McCoy here into 1 and 2. This is about 2-3 laps ago. You see McCoy side slap the outside wall there, and then Cherry just, pinches him right up and does not leave him any room to work with down the front stretch. It's about as aggressive as you can get in a battle for position. Behind Deal. Now under fire by Frank Flores. This for 19th, as in fact Sean Deal making the pass on Frank Flores, excuse me, for 19th that last time by. Joseph, by the way, has caught lapped traffic just up the road. You can see that's the likes of Aaron Bradford. Just trying to hang on to the lead lap, hoping for a caution so we can keep on that lead lap there this time around. Bradford, though, in a bit of trouble. He's got the likes of Chris Campbell and more Justin Wilson locked in a battle with the 67 car of Josh Small. Powers around the top as Wilson gets loose, and Joseph officially puts Aaron Bradford one lap down. Battle into turn one for fourth. Jeffrey Souza to the outside of Spencer Ray, picks him off. Good move there from Souza to establish dominance up on the outside line. Further back in the pack, McCoy and Morton now. Exchanging blows for 11th and 12th. Overall, a very clean opening start to opening salvo of laps to this race, as McCoy and Morton will continue their battle for the first spot outside of the top 10. And just behind, take a look at this massive battle pack working down in towards turns 1 and 2. You've got Huntley trying to get around Gassione. He's checked up Renault, LaPinta, and Deal all in the mix. Huntley storms by around the top. Ryan Huntley Jr. and Mario LaPinta now looking to do battle as well as we hightail it through the high banks. And LaPinta looking to squeeze Renault down. Bit of contact that time by off of 4. Gassione pulls clear from Huntley. LaPinta will pull clear of Renault as the battles continue. Tell you what, LaPinta not about to be stopped either. He's trying to take it to the inside of the Busch Mustang here and go for 16th. LaPinta's been able to get to the bottom of Huntley, but he has not been able to secure that move. And I think at the moment, LaPinta struggling to find pace on the inside line, as Huntley's been so good on diamonding off these corners and just getting these drives down the back straightaway. And he's been able to keep it one step ahead of the home of the hustle, number 13 Chevy Camaro. And you can tell Sean Deal starting to get impatient as well as he's working to the top side of Grinnell, trying to duck around these guys. This is the biggest battle cluster on the racetrack, and it is still raging on 40 laps deep. LaPinta steadily getting more and more clear, but he may need to have some assistance from Joseph, the race leader, to help split this battle up. It's the driver that finished runner-up by just 4 thousandths of a second last week will find himself lapping Frank Flores in 21st. Battle exchanging hands for the number 2 spot just a little ways behind, and this was down in the turn numbers 3 and 4. McGill to the inside of Musati, and it looks like Musati just lifted off and allowed his teammate to take that spot away. Oh, trouble! Greneau sideways on the front stretch and hard into the inside wall. No caution yet. We'll keep it green. As he kept that car rolling in the right direction. Big problems, though, for Tyler Grinnell on the front straightaway this last time by, and now Connor LaFrance has spun. And he will bring out caution flag number 1. He has stopped turn 3. So caution flag is out for the first time tonight, as we'll see the Fanta number 7 back off, and I'm expecting pit stop runs here in short order. We'll get a look here first real quickly, if we can, on Tyler Grinnell. He's, I believe, a lap prior, working down in towards turns 1 and 2. This will have happened off of 4. Side by side with Deal. Has there been contact? Oh, just a bit. Deal comes off the wall, tags Grinnell. He'll rebound into the inside wall. Then Connor LaFrance having this moment on the back straightaway. It's alongside 68, and again, just drifts up into that 68 car. Loops it around. He'll back it into the inside fence. Spin it back up into traffic. One more look at what causes yellow flag number 1 on lap number 46. Yes, cool. That is a close shave for all involved. Very few drivers coming to pit road, it looks like. Joseph, Holden McGill, and Anthony Rosati. Everybody else looking like they may be staying out. I'm actually surprised that we're seeing so few cars making the trip into pit road. It's not a common thing to see. We got, what, 6 now that have come to pit road? Grinnell and LaFrance are in with them. I'm curious what the call is on everybody else to be staying out here. I mean, you can pit now and be good to the end on fuel. I wonder if maybe tires just haven't been that big of a factor, so they're not wanting to waste a set. It's worth noting you only get 2 tire changes over the whole race. So they might not be so eager to spend a set on just lap 50 of a 200-lap race. Caution lights are still on board the Iverson Pace car. We are working yellow flag number 1. We're going to take a quick step back. You're watching the birthplace of the Tow Truck 200 on Green Flag TV.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Lights are out aboard the iRacing Pace car as they'll make that sharp left-hand turn into pit road. Green flag is back in the air. Jeffrey Souza taking us back to the green flag with Dingler on his outside. 18 remain on the lead lap at the end of yellow flag number 1 as we now hightail it down the back straightaway. Spencer Ray making an immediate jump to the inside. They try to pick off second from the Badger Racing number 8, but Souza will lead the way up at the head of this field as everybody now looks to siphon their way through. Joseph was sent to the tail of the field, I believe, at the end of the long slot penalty, so he is now down 4 seconds from the lead and has a long way to go if he wants to try to fight his way back up to the point. Kyle Green, Mark Brannigan Jr. working alongside one another as we'll thunder down the back stretch. Just behind them, Bear coupled into number 6. Looking to make some moves as well. Brannigan up to the top and now trying to track up and clear of Kyle Green. This is all the battle for 4th place at the moment. As you can see, somebody's had a bit of a go-around, it looks like, in turns 3 and 4, but evidently not going slow enough to force a yellow flag. Brannigan will clear. Amongst the cars that are laps down, Connor LaFrance getting around Stefan Brissell. He's working with a bunch of the lead lap guys at the moment. That's the old bump Brissell down to 21st as he's trying to go for the lucky dog spot. Has to get up and around Tyler Grinnell, though. Second car in line. Back to Walt, number 81. Oh, but Musani on the back end of Tyler Grinnell and nearly runs him over. And this is the challenging part, figuring out who goes where when you've got everybody that's on the lead lap trying to sight around lead lap cars. We're 3 wide into turn number 1. Joseph on the top with a huge charge around the top. Gets around Bear Morton, gets around Grant Peterson as he'll drive that one through into turns 1 and 2. What a move there for Joseph to get around this field. As, oh boy, that got all, trouble, and McGill going around in turn 1. Caution is out again. We'll get one look here. This is first Joseph in his 3 wide move around the outside of Bear Morton and Grant Peterson. And we will look up to Holden McGill because this all took place in turn 1 just a lap later. His second caution on the day. Inside of LaPinta, gets a bit pinched off. Oh, he's just lost the back end. Spins it around, tags the outside wall, and Sean Deal left with just nowhere to go in that situation. Oh, I mean, that is just wrong place, wrong time for the driver of the 44. On board with Deal. Oh, he ran into the back of Grant Peterson as well. He had no idea any of this was happening in front of him. And at Bristol, we mentioned it before, but everything can happen so quickly that you just cannot react in time to these types of situations. Man, that's a tough break. Tough break from everybody involved. Oh boy. Well, working yellow flag number 2, we're on lap 64. Saw another host of drivers come down to pit road. So many of them, though, just for damage repairs. Can't say I blame them. You got to get damage patched up wherever possible. As we will see if we can't get a hold of some of these drivers up here. You know what, why not? Let's talk to our race leader making his first start of the season here. We'll bring, see if we can't get in touch with Jeffrey Souza. Jeffrey, this is Noel Rampel up here on the broadcast booth. You got a copy?
Hey, Nolan, how's it going?
Oh, it's going just fine up here on this end. You obviously took the race lead with some pit strategy involved. What attributed to you not opting to take that pit stop on that first yellow flag with the rest of the leaders? And are you concerned about Joseph working his way through the field?
Yeah, I think, it's tough tonight. We only got 2 sets of tires in the box, so we got this caution coming up on 100. We know we're going to get that for sure, and I think the group of us that haven't pitted yet for tires plan on taking them at that stop and then having one more for the end of the race. So I think it's going to be working out for us in the end. I think a lot of guys went with us, and as we just saw, I think a couple guys that did take tires got back there in that traffic and now have some damage. So staying out front, staying with the track position, and hoping that gets us where we want to be at the end of the night.
Well, we'll let you get back to work. Good luck out there on the restart here.
Yeah, 4, thank you.
Jeffrey Souza is in for a very rude awakening when he realizes we do not get a caution flag to end off the stage here in about 35 laps time or so. So that's going to be interesting to see how many of these drivers are assuming we will get a caution flag. It's not news that there is no caution flag. It's been announced before. We'll see if that'll impact anything. Green flag is back in the air, and immediately Huntley jumping down to the inside line, trying to get around Joseph, and JoJo springs around the top of the 69. He'll get around Spencer Ray. That number 20 car now up to third, pressuring Ryan Dingler with fresh rubber. Joseph to the inside, trying to pick off the Hex armor of number 8 Camaro. We work now down the front straightaway into turn number 1. Joseph to the inside, makes an easy pass. He'll get around Jeffrey Souza for the race lead. So Jojo taking his lead back, will filter back throughout this field. Here's everybody else in a hornet's nest. Working down the front stretch towards turn 1, Huntley, LaPinta, Peterson, McCoy, and more. All stuck in a giant cluster as we work our way around. Now this is everybody that just pitted trying to work around the guys that have yet to stop in this race. Looking like we'll be clear so far, though. Has not seen a whole lot to be worried about. You still see Anthony Musatti now lining up a pass. He's just got around Dingler, and Musatti fires around the top of Jeffrey Souza as if he's standing still. Peterson will do the same on Spencer Ray. You saw Brannigan have to scramble to the inside to avoid LaPinta coming off the wall. The battles continue to steadily pick up throughout this field. Just up the road, you see Souza still fighting out with Grant Peterson and Ryan Dingler. So he's trying to hang on to whatever spots he can get, and this is the cluster. Josh McCoy and Barrett Morton right in the middle. You got Gassione, McDougall, Cherry, Deal, Uphold, LaFrance. Lap cars mingling with lead lap cars. It is a mess right now on the backstretch, a cacophony of noise and anticipation as these drivers squeeze each other in out of turn number 4, trying to make whatever time they can get. Can't afford to be hanging around for long, and all of these drivers know this. That's why they're trying to get through this mess as quick as they can to get clear and start running their own pace. McDougall, one of many in the fray. You see Holden McGill. The first, battling for the Lucky Dog spot after he went a lap down, courtesy of that last incident. Trying to get up and around Conor LaFrance, the 7th car, for the Lucky Dog spot. Up the road, Austin Gassione and Barrett Morton fighting for the final top 10 position. Well, just in front of them, Kyle Green setting up a move on Spencer Ray. Ray continues to hold the top. Morton working the bottom in the battle for 11th. Of course, Barrett Morton not having any say in this battle as a whole, as he is now up to 10th. You see Matt Cherry siphoning his way through. While up the road, Jeffrey Souza continues to slip further and further back. He restarted this race in the lead, but of course, remember, he is not pitted yet. And he's under the assumption that we're going to be getting ourselves a caution stage break. That is not accurate. We will not get a caution at the stage break at lap 100. He's in for a rude surprise when that comes about. I wonder if he may have rethought his pit strategy had he known that. He gets to talk to him post-race. We'll get to ask him that very question. Stefan Brissell glancing off the outside wall, but looking otherwise secure. Holden McGill, we talked about him battling for the Lucky Dog spot. He's trying to get around Conor LaFrance. But LaFrance now started to work his way back into the mix with lead lap traffic. As Grant Peterson with a problem way down on the racetrack, and he's coming to pit road. So Grant Peterson having something go awry, and his car is broke. He has tanked the wall somewhere. as Matt Cherry looks like he's had the same problem. So Cherry's slow, and now the caution is out. I'm not sure exactly what for, or if it was just in general for a combination of incidents. We'll get a look first on what happened to Grant Peterson, as he's now down and into pit road. He's fine here, or is he? No, he's not. He's already been wounded at that point in time. So Grant Peterson started working his way around. This is 3 laps prior. He's in a battle with Campbell. Have they made contact somewhere on the racetrack, I wonder? No, I mean, I'm not sure what the problem was for Grant Peterson. You see the damage is already there. I'm not sure where he got it from. We do know, though, that Cherry had an incident of some degree as well. He was in a mix with the likes of Gassiel, McGill, and Moore. Oh, got into Dingler and spun sideways on the backstretch. I believe that may very well have been the cause for the caution. So yellow flag back out on the Speedway. We'll be going green with less than 10 laps to go in stage number 1. We'll take a break. We'll be back with the restart. I believe we are 2 laps to green as of right now, as we work lap 91 of 200 in your running of Birthplace of the Tow Truck 200 from the Bristol Motor Speedway for the L-TAC All-Street Media Cup Series. Joseph, Anthony Musati, Mark Brannigan Jr., Kyle Green, Mario LaPinta lock out the top 5 as it stands. Some of the biggest movers and shakers. Barrick Uphold currently plus 13 on the afternoon. He is up into 8th. The biggest loser, Holden McGill, down 16 positions after starting in the top 2 rows. He is down in 19th. Currently is battling Justin Wilson for the Lucky Dog spot. 8 laps will be the distance when we go back racing. This is until the stage, which is at lap 100, going to 101. Now there will again be no caution. This is going to be a straight shot through into the Geiger restart zone. Green flag is back up and in the air as we thunder back around in towards turn numbers 1 and 2. Joseph well clear of this field. Well, once again, the scramble begins as everyone tries to pick up whatever positions they can get. And now is a critical point as well for these drivers, as we'll be working our way up and about. Whoa, Wilson! Sorry, Brannigan. Getting out the back end on the front straightaway there as he nearly spun the 46 car around. Spencer Ray will get around Todd Green for third, and Green's been doored! Green hard into the inside wall! Big time crash for Kyle Green, but no yellow flag as he kept that car rolling straight, but he's got a busted left front now. And he is going to continue to race it out Shirley's got a meatball flag for that, though. Meanwhile, Musati has caught Joseph for the race lead. Won't be able to power around him, but Musati has been reeling in Jojo over the last few laps, and he's going to get some good progress, but now Ray's to his inside for second. 1 mile of racing left to go in stage number 1. Joseph now pretty handily has the race lead. Caution is out. And this yellow flag will be ending behind the pace car as Josh McCoy has been spun at the top of turn 1. He'll lose a lap before he can get back rolling. And I do believe this will allow for Joseph to take the race win in stage number 1. This caution makes it pretty easy to sort out the positioning overall. So we'll have Joseph in first, Ray second, Musati, Cherry, Brannigan, Gassion, Uphold, Morton, Dingler, and LaPinta to round out the field as it is now made official. Joseph, your stage 1 winner. Here's a look at what happened to Josh McCoy here. This is working down in towards turn 3. Oh, the 69 came off the wall of Brian Huntley Jr., rebounded into McCoy and spun the Tide car big time into the outside wall on a high-speed spin. Right there, just came off the wall. Huntley himself got hooked around by Holden McGill. It's a pretty hefty shot to the outside wall for that 22 car. Well, we don't usually get to do this when we don't have a caution for the stage, but we can do it this time around. Well, I was going to say, let's see if we can get in touch with the stage 1 winner, but Joseph does not look like he is available for comment at the moment. So we'll leave Joseph be. That's a shame, though, for McCoy. He was having a fairly solid run there, and I know that that's not how he wanted that run to end. Just one final look. Just unforced error there from Huntley. Looks like nobody else got him. Oh, actually, hello, Grant Peterson may have been spun around by Justin Wilson in the back end, trying to slow up for all of this, and everybody else does a good job of slowly working by down to the bottom. And of course, just a few laps prior, you had Kyle Green be hooked hard into the inside wall. And this is how Kyle Green lost that run, as this is well, this is going to be working down eventually if we can get this rolling here. This is entering turn 3. Kyle Green and Spencer Ray on the top. Heavy shot directly into the door. Again, not the way that Green was hoping to have his run pan out, and this is on the front straightaway. See it just destroy the left front toe immediately. Green was able to use this caution, though, to come down, get that damage repaired, and now it's got a clean race car. One lap to Green. We are now into the second half of this race. We'll see what is the result going to be from all involved. Will Joseph or Spencer Ray find themselves in trouble further up the road? We'll find out in a moment as the green flag will come on out, this time by early jump from the 20 as we rocked it into turn 1, and he is already cleared by about 4 car lengths. Ray clears Musati for third. Cherry making the run on the outside for third as well. Bubbly Musati out of the podium positions to 4th. Uphold and caution again as we've wadded them up somewhere. I believe with Wilson in the 67 car. Josh Small looks like maybe having had problems. take a look. Small wasn't really near McCoy as we're working into turns 3 and 4. Oh, collided with Justin Wilson. So the 09 got spun around. So this is now working caution number 5 on the day, and 4 of these have come within the last 50 laps or so, which I think says a lot. But we're looking fairly solid, all things considered, as we've been having ourselves with a fairly tame ride towards the front of this field. Two to green this time by, I'm reckoning. Looks to be that way as the lights are still on. The battles have been ferocious so far all afternoon. And they're not going to be slowing up anytime soon either, as these guys are going to be looking to battle it out right down to the wire. Take this chance to once again thank Allstream Media, the title sponsor of the L-TAC Cup Series for Season 5 of competition. Allstream Media is a small media platform specializing in photography and live streaming, mainly focused around no-prep drag racing, and will soon be expanding into dirt racing, NASCAR, superbike racing, and more. Their mission is to provide smaller racing venues with the opportunity for public exposure and to help keep small town racing circuits and small town drivers doing the things they love. Find out more by visiting them on their Facebook page. You can find the link to that down in the description. As well as that, if you're looking to have your leagues broadcasted on Greenflight TV, we are pretty much booked through all of the evenings we've got in the week so far. But we got 2 shows on Monday, 1 on Tuesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday, and Saturday, but Sundays are wide open. So if you have a league on Sundays, you want to see it broadcasted with our team, you can check out our price and what we can offer you at www.greenflytv.com. Lights are out. We go green this time by as Joseph, utilizing a very cheeky tactic of tire scrubbing down on the apron of the racetrack. It's a tactic that's been banned at the top levels of competition on iRacing and is, I believe, actually a protestable offense now. No rule against it in the rulebook here for L-TAC, though, so we'll see if that will help Joseph keep those tires warm. Green flag is up. 18 remain on the lead lap as we run down into turns 1 and 2. Dingler, Morton uphold, all line astern. Spencer Ray attacking Joseph for the race lead. Contact for the race lead down the front straightaway into turn number 1. And Spencer Ray drives around the top. He will pick off Joseph for the race lead, and he is immediately given the bumper by Matt Cherry as well down into turn number 3. So Cherry on the move, trying to move Joseph out of the way the hard way. Watch this again as Spencer Ray drives around the top, doors the 20 down the front stretch, and is able to power through. Meanwhile, Matt Cherry leaning on that back bumper of Joseph and thought for a moment he was going to just drive right through him eventually. But it looks like he's going to ease off her now in that battle for third and second. Further down the pack, Ryan Dingler, Austin Gassion scrapping it out as well as we thunder around the top of 3 and 4. Fall back to Barrett Morton as Dingler will pull around and get clear. Doesn't take much for a fight to kick off here at Bristol, and We're seeing a few fights now. Souza having a fight with the outside wall as he tries to knock it down out of 4 that time by. Souza led the race earlier on, trying to recover lost ground now that he's come down and taken his pit stop. He's going to have to work down Mark Brannigan Jr. as Bear Morton tries to clear him from the outside. Tell you what, the racing has been epic tonight as all of these guys are showing no qualms about getting physical with one another. Look at Grant Peterson with an aggressive dive to the inside of Josh McCoy down to the turn number 3. And remember, these guys are battling for lucky dog positions as well, so they are fully within their prerogative to fight for whatever spots they can get. You see Josh McDougall slipping back. There's a lot of lead lap traffic combined with lap traffic at the moment that I am nervous about, to put it mildly. See Morton and Musati exchanging hands as Bear Morton continues to climb through the ranks. Now up to 5th. LaPinta, Deal, McDougall, Peterson, Purcell, all bunched in a hornet's nest as well. Boy, oh boy, everything is kicking off at the world's last great Coliseum. Saw McDougall actually lock the fronts up a bit that time by. As you take a look at the absolute hornet's nest of cars working around this half-mile bull ring, and I can tell you, it is something else entirely to be watching a race like this, as aggressive as this has been all day long. See Cherry giving out to Bear Morton and Ryan Dingler as he'll lose out in 3rd and then 4th. The Thunder down the front stretch now, working in towards the back straightaway. Will Souza look for the inside of Morton? Not looking for it that time by. It's looking like we've got everything mostly single filed out. A couple of side-by-side battles deeper down the pack. Kyle Green will break around Gassion, and he'll fight back into the top 10. But for the most part, looking to be fairly clean all around. Sean Deal making some good progress as well. He's trying to work his way back up to 13th here. Working ever closer, and now battles for some of these top spots. Heating up again. Souza to the inside of Bear Morton, picks off 4th. While Brannigan just got around Cherry. Ooh, and that time by again, Connor LaFrance kind of getting a bit checked up with some of these drivers. Sean Deal is the one at the moment that LaFrance is holding up. Deal wants to go. Renault trying to work with Gassion, but you can't do a whole lot of team weight working over against a track like Bristol in the way of bump drafting. So Renault is just going to make the pass. LaFrance way down the racetrack, forcing Deal to take this one the long way around. Good thing then for Deal that passing on the outside is the preferred method at Bristol. Not a sentence you hear all too often in motor racing. Usually the inside is the way to go. Not here, though. You want to get around Bristol in these Cup cars, it's the top or nothing. That's how it's pretty much been all afternoon long, unless you've had a big tire discrepancy. Ryan Huntley Jr. tucked in for 15th and 14th, as well as Aaron Bradford slow on the racetrack, and has he had a problem? Get a look. Oh, he has. Purcell struck the outside wall, and Bradford was sent hard into the inside wall. So Aaron Bradford going to be down and now effectively out of the race. As, in fact, he has missed pit road. So he could not get down, and he's going to be trying to get around to pit road this time by way down low in turns 1 and 2, and he'll work to the backstretch. Sorry, he did not miss pit road. He was on the backstretch, Chris, remember, so he had to wait until he could get around to the other side of the racetrack. Musati with a big move, trying to take the position away from Morton the hard way. And look at that. Anthony Musati clearing Morton in the Spirit Crest Digital Camaro from the bottom. How about Grinnell looking to attack Kyle Green? Inside lane may be coming in a bit more here in the latter stages of this 200-lap affair. Grinnell from Green. Now from Gassion. Two of these drivers are teammates, and Green's caught between them. Pretty soon, he could be the driver that's on the out looking in if Gassion has his say. Green knows how to work that outside line, though, and he'll continue to work with it as we thunder around the backstretch. Whoa, look out, uphold, slides, slams the outside wall. As a boy, again, we get a bit interesting there on the front stretch. This is Merrick Uphold. He got into it with Josh McCoy, spun sideways and collected the outside wall. Oh, and now Dingler spins. Dingler way to the inside as he collects Joseph. And that will cost Dingler third as Jeffrey Souza will get around him. We'll get a ride on board here in just a minute. This is going to be with Ryan Dingler. That was a bit further back than we were intending. Here's a better look. It's further back, but it'll get the job done. Take it to the inside of Joseph here in 3 and 4. And Joseph just cuts across the nose, doors Dingler. Good save, though, from that number 8 car. Locked it down and was able to hang on. It's now Dingler trying to get around Souza, and Souza's just going to let him take that one back easily. Didn't even really fight him there. It's Dingler, no doubt, with Joseph back in his sights. Still got battles up and down throughout this field. Here's LaFrance and LaPinta for 15th, with Sean Deal just in front of the pair of them. Meanwhile, Barrick Uphold getting back around McCoy after they collided about 10 laps ago. Oh, and Green side slaps the outside wall out of 4. It's always risky business, flirting with that outside wall, and now you can see Josh McCoy finding that out the hard way as he's finding himself starting to slow as well. He tries to hang on to whatever juice he's got left in that machine. Green clears from Huntley. Needle will try to lap McCoy. He's got Barrick Uphold and Matt Cherry in the crosshairs as they'll be scrapping it out for 9th. Or sorry, for 10th. Man, oh man, it has been a crazy race so far, and we're still just under 50 laps from the end. Oh, Cherry finds the wall with Uphold. And immediately back to the bottom. Cherry scrapes it again. Uphold not yielding the Team Watson Mustang to the bottom. and he'll pick off Matt Cherry. Cherry with a crossover, almost 3 wide on the backstretch. As Cherry takes the spot right back, puts Uphold into the wall. Now we are 3 wide. That's not going to work. Cherry slams the top. And the caution is out as Matt Cherry is spun on the front stretch. Well, we saw that was coming from a mile off. And Joseph has just seen a huge break trying to catch up to Spencer Ray. Take a look. They come together off of turn 4. You see Kyle Green. We're watching him right now as he actually tagged the inside wall, and he may have broken his car from that as he's going to just bring it to a stop and call it quits. This is going to be from about a lap prior, and we're going to be watching Matt Cherry here. See there as Cherry got to the inside of Uphold. Watch here as we run into turn 3. Cherry sends it in. He just puts Uphold right into the outside wall, so Barrick Uphold really pinches him off the corner, and I don't blame him at all. See, Huntley gets collected. LaPinta gets collected. And that will bring a conclusion to what was an otherwise exciting battle. A lot of cars working through pit road. Getting some last-minute stops done. Jeffrey Souza, the one driver who stayed out. He is now on 60-lap old tires. That is bold for a driver like Souza. Make that 70-lap old tires actually now. So we're going to take another step back, entering the closing stages of race number 2 from the L-TAC All-Stream Media Cup Series at Bristol. Lights are out aboard the pace car at the Bristol Motor Speedway. We are working our way through turns 1 and 2. We will be going green with 38 laps left to go. Jeffrey Souza has the race lead. Spencer Ray to his outside on fresh tires. Joseph starts on the inside. Souza and Grant Peterson, two of the only cars not to pit. Grant Peterson took the attempt, though, to get an extra lap back, which he has now done, but still sits at least 1 lap down from the race leaders. Pace car will pull in this time by. I don't believe we're done wrecking yet. We'll line him back up. Green flag is back in the air at Bristol. Sure enough, Spencer Ray shoots at the top. Joseph hemmed in behind Souza. He'll have to take it to the bottom, and we're going to be 3 wide for second as Joseph breaks clear. Spencer Ray will now charge around the top as Souza sent dropping like a stone. Oh, and now Gassione into the outside wall. Down into his teammate, Greneau. Musati going around. Can we hang on to it? No! Morton around, and the caution's back up, piling in, and it's a multi-car parking lot out of turn 4. Well, that all stemmed, I believe, from Souza not taking tires. So there you see Spencer Ray, who will pick up the end of the pacing line. Not the way that battle wanted to come out, as we'll look back and we'll get an eye on this one. This is going to be all the way entering turn number, this is actually just off the restart lap here. So watch as Joseph takes an aggressive path to the inside. And we're going to keep with this here because it gets wild in a hurry. We're watching at the moment Austin Gassione. He's one of the main drivers that got involved in all of this. Watch as he's going to get loose, strike the outside wall there. Comes down to the Grinnell. LaPinta runs over Musati just behind. That spins Morton and Moore around. Sean Deal gets collected, and everybody else just comes flying in, completely unsighted. Here's a better look at the spin itself as Sean Deal just sandwiches Bear Morton, and again, not a whole lot you can do there. And hard hit for Josh McCoy, just running into the rear end there of Morton. We'll see what the 22 car saw here. A lot of smoke right there. The caution came out, and I mean, you can't do anything there. That is, you're just stuck at that point in time. Back this one up a little bit more. This is going to be the whole incident again as there you see Musati slam the outside wall. Gets right back down into present company. And around they go in the back. Oh, man, Sean Deal took a pretty hefty whack there into that outside wall from the wall camera. Wrong place, wrong time for a good chunk of the drivers in that deal. We'll get a look on, well, we won't get a look, but we'll speak to some of the drivers here in the midst of all of this. And you know what, why not? Let's see if we can't bring out the driver to number 44. Sean Deal will join us up here in the broadcast booth. Well, Sean, not the way we wanted to see that restart go. Walk us through what that was like from your perspective.
I think somebody was on old tires up front, and nobody was really ready for it. Huge checkup, and when you're that close off of a restart, there's really not a whole lot you can do.
How's the car feeling? Do you reckon you can still drive it to a solid top 10 here?
I don't know. It's a Bristol car. It's got some dents, got some dings. We'll see what happens.
We'll see what happens indeed, and we'll wish you the best of luck on the restart. We'll let you get back to work. Good luck out there.
Thank you.
Sean Deal joined us up here in the broadcast booth, and for the driver out of Ames, Iowa, not Idaho. And he'll be restarting in 9th. Well, you mentioned a few dings, but I think that kind of goes with just about everybody in the field at the moment. Spencer Ray will take up the race lead. He has got 30 laps to try to hang on against Joseph, but nobody is standing in that 20 car's way. Pace car is off, and the green flag's in the air. Joseph immediately to the inside, and he'll pick off Spencer Ray. Ray trying to go for the cutback, almost chops the bumper of JoJo that time through as he'll rocket back into turns 1 and 2. It's all for naught, though. Joseph is back to the point. And just in the nick of time, as we've got another caution flag, and Grant Peterson potentially at the center of it this time around. There's a couple of other cars in the back here. Looks like Austin Gassione maybe having had an issue. Frank Flores, Stephen Bristol, and more. Well, we'll get a look, and we'll make our judgments from there. Looking at Frank Flores at the moment. Not sure where Purcell or Gassione are. Oh, there's smoke up the road already, and Flores just locks it down, so he had nothing to do with this, in fact. And it does, in fact, look like Austin Gassione was the cause. He's alongside with Campbell in the 68, but that's not the cause. As Purcell got loose, rebounded down, slams the Valvoline machine. And Grant Peterson left with an innocent bystander, the 67 of Josh Small, getting hooked up in that mess as well. Now, did the 57 have help? No, sir, all by himself. Oh, good Lord. Campbell in the 68. We'll get a ride on board with him. This will be with Chris Campbell working the back stretch. Checks up there. Oh, he does just barely get into the mess. Thought for a moment he made it out, was not so lucky. Tell you what, he did a fine job to avoid that initially, though. It's just a shame that went as wrong as it did. So Joseph is now back into the race lead. As our time continues to run out. We'll be back in just a few moments as you're watching race number 2 from Bristol. Working through turn 4, pace car pulls into pit road. Will once again go green flag racing for less than 25 laps to go. Joseph rockets away from this field down in the turn numbers 1 and 2. Ray and Dingler trying to close in. Contact between the pair of them. We hightail it down the back straightaway. We're 3 wide behind in the turn numbers 3 and 4. McGill and McCoy going to split. Brian Huntley Jr. as we fire it down the front straightaway in towards turn numbers 1 and 2. A slowing Josh McDougall causes a big check up, and now Huntley leaning on the back bumper of Holden McGill as McDougall having to, I think, pedal a little bit in the 45 car to keep that car underneath him. All the while, the battles continue to shake on up. Sean Deal, Mario LaPinta exchanging blows for 7th. Conor LaFrance. Oh, look out as LaFrance's way to the inside, and Matt Cherry will drive around the top. Oh, McCoy, again, just scraping that outside fence. And again, the caution's out, and it's a big crash. Bear Guppold around in turns 1 and 2. Less than 20 laps to go, and Bear Guppold again finds himself in trouble. This is with the number 6. He got into it with Sean Deal, it looked like, but judging by his all by himself, I'm willing to bet there's a story behind this. Brannigan's way in front, Grinnell's way behind. Oh, just lost the back end out of turn 4. Slams the inside wall and nowhere for Deal to go. Josh McCoy did a good job on getting around that. On board with the driver of the 22. Little tag at the outside wall avoids the accident in itself. Good efforts there from Josh McCoy to get around that wreck. Bear Guppold is into pit road to get damage repairs. Again, that is just such a shame for all involved as, again, here's Uphold all by himself, just out of turn 4. Tough break for Sean Deal as well, getting kind of collected in that mess as they slide along that outside safer barrier. Not seeing a whole lot of takers in a pit road this time by. There's been a couple, but well, I was going to say none too notable, but Austin Gassion hitting this time by in the number 5, so he's down in pit road. Kind of restacking the way the top 10 shakes up. Joseph has that race lead as he has since the restart about 20 laps ago. Spencer Ray is down in 2nd with Ryan Dingler in 3rd. Mark Brannigan Jr. is 4th with Tyler Grinnell in 5th. Mario Lapinta 6th. Matt Cherry's down in 7th. Josh McCoy is in 8th. Connor LaFrance and Holden McGill will be locking out the top 10. 15 laps to go. We'll be coming to 14 to go this next time by. I believe we'll be restarting with 13 on the docket. And at this point, I think it is safe to say a green-white checkered is very much on the table. We had a very clean opening series of laps. We didn't have our first caution until we were, what, 30 laps in just about? We went about another 50 from there, and then unfortunately, the yellows have been piling on more and more. And this is now, I believe, our 4th yellow flag in about 20 laps. See Joseph again using that that little exploit of scrubbing the tires on the inside, and he's not the only one. Connor LaFrance, Austin Gassion doing the same thing. All of those drivers running for Eastern Star Motorsports. It's no surprise they're all trying to make it to the big leagues. You got to know how to work your way up there, I guess, and well, that's what it takes. That's what it takes, I suppose. Green flag's back in the air. Joseph runs it down into 1 and 2. Dingler and Ray side by side. So we're finding it out relatively quickly as we set ourselves up for the final series of laps of this race. Cherry leaning on the door of Mario Lapinta, just able to keep it out of the side of the 13 car. Time quickly running out though, and the yellow flag is out again. Frank Flores looks to be at the back of this one, and he's been collected by the 67 of Josh Small from the appearance of things. Aaron Bradford potentially problems of his own. Man, it's getting there. See Flores working with the 67 of Small. Oh, someone sideways up the road already. Oh, there was the 66, and they both just locked up and went straight into the wall. That was the 66 of Bradford that had gone around. And he may have had help. He has had help. Looks like he just tracked up right across the nose of Barrick Uphold and hooked himself hard into the wall. I don't think anything that Uphold did wrong there. Let's get a ride on board with the number 6. I mean, Uphold's there. Can't really predict a car coming across your nose that aggressively. So, where are we at here? We got, what, less than 10 to go. What was I mentioning just a few minutes ago about how a possibility of a green, white, and checkered attempt would be relatively high? Well, one thing I've seen on Green Flag TV is Bristol overtime attempts are wild. It is some of the wildest racing you can get as everybody is just going absolutely guns blazing right through to the checkered flag. So we're taking this time. We're just taking a breather, sorting ourselves out, and we'll, of course, be back in full force by the end of this race. Hedge your bets. Who do you think is going to take this win? Joseph has proven that he knows how to get out front and stay in front. finished runner-up to Austin Gassiona's teammate, even though he tried to make that look. Ended up finishing second in the second closest finish in L-TAC Cup Series history by just 4 1/1000ths of a second last week at Daytona. Seeing if he can't this time finish on the top step of the podium here tonight. Joseph has had experience contending for championships as well here in the L-TAC Cup Series. In fact, in Season 2, he and Holden McGill were in a titanic battle right through the entirety of the playoff season. And Joseph ended up losing it by about 10 points or so in the final race of the season at Darlington. And the reason why it was, he found out, penalty points. He'd been penalized for so many incidents in 2021 that they all stacked up, and that ended up making the difference in losing him a championship. Seeing if he can this time take one and maybe, just maybe, hold it for his number 20 car, but it's still early on, and he still has to get through this race as well. Green flags back in the air as Joseph fires it up around the high banks of 1 and 2. Everybody stacking it up behind. Oh, a bit of door banging going on down the backstretch. Oh, Dingor into the outside wall, and Cherry being spun around. McCoy into the outside wall, and we're into overtime. Heads up, still locking it down as drivers arrive on scene late. And that puts us to green-white checkered attempt number 1. Well, not how we wanted this to go, but it's how it's going regardless. Cherry just got loose. Slid up across McCoy. They go into the outside wall, and it's on from there. Good job on Campbell and Small, as well as 67 car there to all lock that down and get in shape. Right, so attempt number 1 at an overtime run here in this one. See Brian Huntley Jr. getting the lucky dog free pass, and that has not put him on the lead lap. Thought for a moment that would put him onto the lead lap. No dice. No dice, Mr. Huntley. Might need another one. We have 3 total green-white checkered attempts that we have access to. So if we get a crash before that white flag, we'll reset to it again if we get to the 3rd attempt and we get another crash. If it's with 2 to go, the race ends under caution. There's been a couple times throughout this league's history when we've actually finished these races behind the safety car, and we're hoping this is not one of them. We haven't had a finish behind the pace car in over 2 seasons? Season 2 may have been the last time it happened. But who knows? I mean, hell, like I mentioned before, these races, they get wild in the late going, and JoJo has proven that he is showing no qualms on getting the elbows out if he has to defend a race win. That said, he's been able to launch so well that I'm not anticipating this restart is going to be of any bother to him. I believe we'll take 2 to green. This would be the last lap if we were under green flag conditions. Lights out aboard the iRacing pace car, 1 lap to green, as we'll once again get set to kick this race off. Overtime attempt number 1 from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Green flag is back in the air with 2 to go. Look at everybody stacking up on the top lane as we start to thunder our way around towards that front stretch one more time. Joseph with the lead. We take the white flag. Race is now official. The 20 Eastern Star Motorsports machine high and wide through 1 and 2. Spencer Ray trying to close. Can't close fast enough. Joseph, your race winner at Bristol. As everyone siphons across the start-finish stretch. And we wad him up in turn 2. Wild race then here in this one, as we will get down to the front stretch. And Joseph, for the first time in Season 5, will get to burn it down as a race winner. What a wild win for Joseph here tonight. He had to work for it, but boy, did the work ever pay off. As the driver, the number 20, will come away a race winner here at the end of the night. And with all of that said and done, we'll take a rundown of your official post-race results here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. Taking the race win at the end of the night, it of course was the driver of the number 20 car by 0.4 of a second over Spencer Ray in overtime. Ryan Dingleroy was down in 3rd with Mark Brannigan Jr. in 4th. Tyler Grinnell was in 5th with Holden McGill in 6th. Mario Lapinta rounds it out in 7th with Connor LaFrance in 8th. Anthony Musati and Jeffrey Souza round out the top 10. Josh McDougall was down in the 11th position, and further on down through the field, you had the likes of Barrett Morton, Barrett Gutpold, Austin Gassione, Sean Deal, Frank Flores, Grant Peterson, Matt Cherry, Brian Hundley Jr., Stephen Purcell, Chris Campbell, all finishing laps down. Josh Small, Aaron Bradford, and Josh McCoy. Kyle Green, the first driver to DNF from this race, along with Justin Wilson. Todd Robbins and Robert Block did not make it to the call. They did not turn a lap, in your racing action here tonight. We'll get the chance now to speak to the race winners here at the end of a wild race from the Bristol Motor Speedway, and we'll of course kick things off with your race winner here, the likes of Joseph, who come home to take the race win here tonight, and in a pretty commanding fashion as well on an overtime attempt. But Jojo, it wasn't looking so certain for you at a few points throughout this race. Kind of walk us through having to work your way through this field and then fend everybody off when it was just caution after caution.
Yeah, I was a bit nervous there, after lap 120 when I lost the lead, and we had a slightly long run because Spencer had 40 lap fresher tires, so I was nervous. I was praying for a caution, but then I started reeling him back in somehow, and I thought I had a chance to maybe get him before the caution, but I unfortunately didn't. And then I lined up P3 on the restart, stuck behind Jeffrey. I had to make a pretty aggressive move on the apron, kind of try and get past to have a chance. And then on the one restart when I was starting second, I had a really good jump. I was basically side by side with him going into 1 and 2 and got a good run and sent it into turns 3 and 4 and slid up. Basically a slide job, and then was able to command from there.
Looking forward, obviously, to race number 2 when we get set to return. It'll be to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Usually it's a race run during the day. This season, though, it's going to be a night race from Las Vegas, Nevada. What do you expect to see from that number 20 car as we rolled around number 3?
I hope I could be up front and lead a bunch of laps. I'm just going to try and be out, qualify on pole, and run up front as long as possible in the clean air. But if I have to push too hard and push too much tire, I'll just fall back and ride in line until later in the race.
We were talking earlier in the race about how you and Holden McGill had a big championship rivalry going back in season number 2. Obviously, I'd imagine the title is on the mind for season 5 here in this one. McGill, of course, is our first repeat champion of the series. Taking that win, he is currently the defending champion. Do you see him as a viable threat then for the duration of season 5 here?
Yeah, he's definitely a threat. I feel like I'm a little bit better in the next gen car than him. So I feel like we're gonna be really competitive and throughout. Yeah, but he's definitely gonna be a threat every single week. He's really fast, so I expect him to be up front every single week in battling me.
Well, we'll wish you all the best of luck then when we go racing next week from America's Gambling Capital. For now, congratulations on the hard-earned race win, and we'll see you in Nevada.
Thank you.
It was Joseph joining us up here in Victory Lane at the end of the night. We'll move on down to the driver that finishes this race down to the number 2 spot. Spencer Ray will take us in for the runner-up spot. And Spencer, you tried and tried, just couldn't catch Joseph in the 2-lap stints that you seem to be getting there in the last run. But you put on one hell of a defense against him. Kind of walk us through these last 50 laps for you.
Just try to keep him behind me as long as I could. Once he passed me, I knew it was over. And it was.
Overall, it was a race, I think, that sees good results for that number 19 Chevrolet. You were hovering around that top 5 for a majority of this race. Kind of what was it like to be able to fight for these top spots while the rest of the field just seemed to be in a nonstop melee further down the order?
It was nice to not be involved in anything.
Fair enough. Las Vegas Motor Speedway comes up next. Obviously, it's a track you have a lot of experience at. What can we expect to see from that number 19 as we roll into Nevada?
Hopefully one place better.
Hopefully one place better. I like to hear it. We'll wish you the best of luck when we go racing in Las Vegas. Congratulations on the number 2.
Yeah.
I'm Spencer Ray joining us up here in the broadcast booth. And with that, we will take things on down to the driver that finishes this race in number 3. It is Ryan Dingler, a driver that made some good moves tonight. He is up 9 positions, comes home with the last step on the podium. Ryan, a wild race for the driver of the number 8 car out there tonight. Kind of walk us through as a whole, as you seem to be right in the thick of everything.
Yeah, I mean, I had fun. It was it's kind of a weird race as far as strategy because everyone on that first caution just kind of did all kind of different things. I was going to pit with my other guys, but I ended up missing my entry. We were confused at if the pit road was actually open that lap or the next one, so I just ended up staying out. But it ended up working out, and we got on the same strategy at the end. And I'm happy with the top 3 because I didn't feel like I was that fast. I know Brannigan was beating my bumper off, but I was kind of blocking him, so.
You, of course, found yourself having a do battle with a good chunk of the drivers that found themselves with that top 5 lockout last week. How does it feel to be at a racetrack now where you can kind of turn the wick up a bit more in that number 8 car where you don't have to rely so much on teammates helping you out with the draft?
I mean, it's a completely different game. Like, you don't have to rely on teammates, but like it's still this race is more hectic than Daytona is just because of the nature of Bristol. So I don't know. Like, it's not really any better. It's just different. So I'll be glad to get away from these 2 extremes.
Las Vegas Motor Speedway is up next. The luck for you has, shall we say, fluctuated a little bit over the years when you've been racing over at that facility. But what can we expect to see you here in L-TAC when we go racing once again in Nevada?
I mean, I feel like I could get a top 10 there if I just try to stay clean. But that's really the main thing. I'm not really good at mile and a halves, especially staying clean. I always get somebody running into me, so we'll see. I usually do pretty decent when I'm there. So I don't know. We'll see.
Well, we'll wish you the best of luck then when we go racing for round number 3 of the All Street Media Cup Series in Las Vegas, Nevada. Congratulations on the win here tonight, and we'll see you when we go back to work next week.
Yes, sir.
Ryan Dingler joins us up in the broadcast booth from the number 3 spot, and that's going to do it for our podium drivers. That's going to do us for our performance here from Green Flag TV. What a night of racing it has been. Just absolutely phenomenal from start to finish. This is the first of 2 Bristol races here this weekend. When we return, it'll of course be for the TNGG IEL Truck Series. They have a 205 lap race around the Bristol Motor Speedway tomorrow night on Saturday And then, of course, the Pro Kart Concepts Road Challenge Series will return from Brazelton, Georgia, when they go racing for round number 8 in the championship at Road Atlanta, along with the High Tide Racing League Emma Racing Designs Cup Series, making their swing to the Keystone State and to Pocono's Tricky Triangle. For now, though, here from the Bristol Motor Speedway, it's about time to close. My name's Manolo Rempo. Thank you so much for joining us here tonight on Green Flight TV. We'll see you all next week when we get set to gamble in Nevada.